Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Slingy's Things. This time we're taking a look at the Hammond Collection Atrociraptor. And I just have to say, I really like this dinosaur here. I think that Mattel did an awesome job on the look of this guy. Very cool. Very good sculpt, great scales, nice paint. I would say this one looks even better in person than it does in videos and photos. What I like here is you got some nice shading on these hands. See how the gray gets a different color? And it happens again, you get a bit of a different color on the legs. Really nice stripes. Some nice coloring in there. Looks really good. And the eye on this one, it is another glass eye with a painted pupil. And I think the combination looks really good here. They're super vibrant looking eyes. I do miss that, when they paint it on, it doesn't quite follow you around like the bigger Hammond collections do, but I understand why they do this for such a small figure. I love it. They look great. And then also great is the mouth on this guy. Very clean looking mouth. Nice solid teeth in there. They're not made out of anything soft, but they look really good. And overall, the paint is great. I just have one little minor paint application problem here, just as you get some of the pink of the mouth on this side, but I just like to think it's like leftover meal, a little bit of blood left over, so nothing too major. All of the joints feel really good. They don't feel too flimsy, even though they're very small arms. It doesn't feel, I'm not really worried about it breaking. Nice legs. They got a bit of a, you can kind of hear that in there, sort of like a, what's the word for it? It's escaping me. Anyway, it's got a good, like a ratchet type joint. It feels solid. I would say it has a bit of a hard time standing, but that's just because you have to finagle it in a position, and then you're totally good. It stands up very well. I will say that this might just be my experience, but this was the hardest tail of any dinosaur from Mattel that I've had to put in. I had such a hard time putting this thing in. I heated it too, and it took forever, and I got it in, but at the cost of, I didn't pay enough attention when I got out of the box if it was dented already, but it is now. So it's got, unfortunately, a bit of a kinked out tail here. I think this is just because I had a hard time getting it in. And also the tip doesn't have a wire, so that kind of contributes to not being able to straighten it out perfectly. But, that is probably, hopefully it's just a me problem and no one else has a hard time getting that tail in there. I pray it doesn't ever pop out because I do not want to go through that trouble again. But yeah, so really nice looking. I would say one complaint is that the head moves really great up. It moves really good to the sides. It tilts really well. But unfortunately, there's no joint for it to go down. See, that's just sort of, I think, there for the jaw, that in there. So that's a little disappointing. So you can't really get it to look down, at least with mine. I don't know if this is with others. I don't want to force it. But from what I can tell from looking at it, it doesn't have too much downwards neck articulation. But of course, you can, sort of fudge it by having it look down. Maybe not ideal, but I'm still very happy with it otherwise. So let's take a second to get this back up. Come on. Come on. So you just gotta fiddle with this thing. Okay. So I just want to compare it to some smaller Hammond Collection dinosaurs. So you have the Pyroraptor with it. And so I vastly prefer the Atrociraptor in this line to the Pyroraptor. Just because the Pyroraptor, as though it's still awesome in its own right, the Pyroraptor's eyes are a little bit harder to see. They're not quite as vibrant unless you really catch the right light. Whereas these are, of course, red, but I still think the color really pops. Whereas this shade of yellow doesn't really stand out. This one has joints that always really scare me. It's just so small in there that I'm scared to play with it too much. I don't think the neck is as good on this one. And the tail is sort of heavy, but a very good figure, and it's a bit smaller. And then also this older Hammond Collection, Dilophosaurus, which is very cool. You can see that's before they did the glass eyes, and it still looks great just the way it is here. And this one, this piece always sort of bothered me because it kind of doesn't like latch on great. We'll take it. We'll take that off for now. Get that off of it. Okay, it's off. But one thing I like about this figure compared to like these ones is the neck articulation is crazy. Now I know that it's a different sort of dinosaur, but still, that is fantastic. The hinge in here, and the neck head hinge right here is really good too. So I wish they would have done a little bit, if it were possible. I know it's got a kind of a fatter neck. More articulation would have been nice. But otherwise, I think the Atrociraptor is a fantastic addition for such like a reasonable price. It's great. Any of my complaints are not major. I am very happy with this release. And I just think they keep getting better and better, and I can't wait to see what they release next and just how they're going to get more improved in the future. So I'll share some pictures at the end, so stay tuned for that. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Bye.